Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
All right, guys, welcome back. This is your girl, Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey, Kat.
Hey, Moni.
How you feeling, sis?
Fake.
Oh, okay. I guess it's on brand for what we do, friend, because you're right. We are fake this week. We did not read a book.
But we did a lot. We put in some hours.
Yeah. I mean, and we're unstoppable. So,
We are.
I mean, that never has stopped us from showing up before. So, this week, you guys, we did have an opportunity to watch White Lotus, which is a series on HBO. And so there are 3 seasons in, but we're specifically talking about season 3. We will kind of tap in on season 1 and 2 because
They're related.
they're related
It's
and we
an
talk a lot.
anthology series, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to reference a little bit from the seasons just to give you all the tea.
Absolutely. So hopefully you forgive us for that. But I'm actually really excited about this. This was something
Too.
my husband and I started watching together. I don't even know where it came up, but we just
Well,
started
the original
watching it.
came up like right after the lockdown.
Really?
'Cause
It's
that's
been
a-
out that long?
A big part of why it even got produced was because HBO lost a lot of their lineup because production had to be shut down for the lockdown. And so, listen, you know me, I was listening to a podcast about
Okay,
White
so
Lotus. So Michael White was the writer and director.
Okay.
And he came up with this concept. He'd been wanting to do it for a while and had been shopping it around but couldn't sell it. And then HBO was desperate for content. The reason why they recorded in Hawaii and Maui because that whole hotel was free because of the lockdown.
Go.
So yeah, that's
Nice. What a fun fact.
Yeah.
White Lotus, I want to give you guys a little bit of a background on this show. The White Lotus is an American Black comedy, drama anthology television series created by Mike White for HBO that premiered July 11th, 2021. The series follows the exploits of the guests and staff during a week spent at a fictional luxury global resort hotel chain called the White Lotus. Each season is set in a different White Lotus resort hotel, and it's mostly self-contained with some characters returning, whose interactions are affected by their various psychosocial dysfunction.
dun dun dun.
Oh.
So when we say black
Ooh.
comedy, it's not mostly
Dark.
black people, but yeah, or blue,
Yes.
which I prefer because yeah, it's
It is. So hopefully we're clear there, you guys. I'm really excited to talk about this. And so before we do, we like to do a little thing where we put our hands on our hearts and dedicate this episode. So let's do that now, friends. Okay, so hands over your hearts. As always, we want to take this time to reflect on the people who support us the most, which are our patrons. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. I can't say enough good things about you. If you guys are not patrons, you guys pop over to our Patreon, support us at the FAB Podcast over at Patreon. We have lots of bonus content over there, lots of candid conversations. Also, too, I think if I have to dedicate this week, I want to dedicate this episode to, I'm going to dedicate this to, ooh, that's a good one. There's so many. There's so many. Yeah, I you know what I'll say is I'm going to dedicate it to all of us because I do feel like right now there's lots going on, guys. And so, you know, I feel like this can be a really hard time when you're watching. It feels like the world's exploding. I mean, it always is on some level. But I feel like, you know, we just had a couple senators that got popped in Minnesota. Don't know if you saw that. 4 of them, 2 of them died.
damn.
And it sounds like it was politically motivated. We see these riots in LA. We see ICE pulling up left and right, snatching up citizens, our rights being rolled back.
Iran
It's just Iran. Yeah, like it's actually going down. I hope you guys are paying attention. Just shout out to you guys for your mental health and for everything that you might have going on in your lives. And what about you, friend? What do you have
Yes,
going on?
and my dedication is going out to gossip. There's a lot of it going on at the White Lotus. And also, interesting enough, because gossip gets sort of a bad rep, but it's something of it has an important social function. So gossip, I'm gonna read this from the AI overview.
Ooh.
Gossip, despite, I'm also dedication over just so I can stop the music.
Okay, I'm about to eat some popcorn while you tell me.
despite its often negative connotations, plays a multifaceted role in society, functioning as a tool for social bonding, information dissemination, and norm enforcement. It can help individuals assess trustworthiness, navigate social situations, and even strengthen group cohesion. However, it can also lead to harm through the spread of misinformation, reputational damage, and social exclusion. So yeah, because you were talking about the psychosocial things and stuff like that.
I was.
Because I think that was part of the appeal of all the White Lotuses, where you see these very complex social dynamics between specifically rich people. Because money makes things weird.
It does. And I feel like I wasn't expecting so many layers, I guess. You know what I mean? I actually don't know what I was expecting, but I really appreciated the pacing of the stories. Like, I feel like it could be like, oh, these are it's kind of slow.
It's a slow burn.
It's just, I enjoy it.
What made you like click on it?
Not
you
sure.
know, there's so many shows.
A lot of the time, if I'm being honest, I have to give credit to my husband for picking a lot of the stuff we watch.
Oh, see, you're a good partner. You'll be like, let's
and
watch
I'm
what
like,
you wanna watch.
Because guess what? If I don't have a better option, what do I look like complaining about what you picked for us? You know what I'm saying?
See, that's where yes and comes in. It's like,
I'm like, I don't have nothing else to pick.
So he was like, let's watch this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, cool. I have no better option. And it turned out to be really, really great. Really enjoyed the first season.
Oh boy.
Tremendously. Sound like Trump.
Tremendous. It was
Tremendously.
amazing.
It was bigly.
Did you see White Lotus? I'm sending it to you right now.
No.
It was a sketch on SNL.
Oh, no.
And they were parodying White Lotus season 3.
No,
oh,
really?
Yes.
This might
my
be a great way to
gosh.
top off this episode.
Oh yeah, we might have to, like, during the break,
be
I'm gonna cue it up and show it to you, just so I remember. Yeah, Oh, it was hilarious. Oh, because I watched it with my daughter. Well, at least the last couple episodes last night, I binged it, and then my daughter just kind of joined in at the end with me. And then I was like, okay, now that sketch on SNL makes more sense now, because I didn't know what was. Yeah, it's there we go.
Oh my god!
So that'll
Why
be
didn't we do
something to
that
look
on
forward.
Patreon?
I just remembered just now.
Okay.
Because of my brain.
Damn it, cat.
No,
it's fine. Thank you for remembering now. So no, can't wait to see it.
Okay. Now
But yeah.
pull up my notes.
All right, so let's get into it, guys. I feel like we need to set the scene. So again, this is an anthology. This is
and spoilers.
And spoilers. Y'all should hopefully, if you're new here, we spoil everything. If you're planning on watching the White Lotus series, we're not, like I said, we're not gonna go through the minutia of every episode of every season. We're gonna mostly talk about 3 because there's some intersectionality. We kind of have to touch into some of the other seasons. But I wanted to give our listeners, if you've not seen the White Lotus series, just kind of like the plot of what happens in season 3. So I don't know if you're prepared to do that, friend, but this is what I count on you for.
There's 20 characters. So it's a burrito.
It's a lot.
I'm gonna start with, because I love how every White Lotus, because it's a whodunit. Mm-hmm. So every season is very clue. It starts off with a dead body. And then
like, who this?
And then we jump back a week, and we spend the whole time kind of trying to figure out who did it and who gets killed, because they don't tell you who the dead body is and stuff like that. So for this one, we're in Thailand, and there's the way they pretty much start all of them is like you come in on the boat, because it's usually on like an exclusive island, because the White Lotus is very expensive, very exclusive. And so it reminded me a little bit. Do you remember Fantasy Island, the show?
Vaguely.
Where it was like, look, boss, deplane.
I remember the little guy who was in there.
Okay, so they come in and stuff like. Okay, so it was giving me those vibes. Okay. So the first like group that really struck me were the Ratcliffes.
Okay.
And so this is a family from Durham, and we got Tim, his wife, and 3 kids. Okay. And then the other
Victoria Saxton, Piper, and Lachlan.
Yes, yes. What was the wife's name?
Victoria.
Okay. So they're a hoot. And then we also have Rick and Chelsea, which are
Catch It and Chelsea.
Yeah, they're Rick is Uncle Baby Billy from Righteous Gemstones. Love him down. Walton Goggins, I think. And then the chick from Sex Education. There is Amy Lou Wood, and that's Chelsea. And she's younger, he's a little older, he's grizzled, and he's like, so it's a younger girl, older guy. We see him a lot. Actually, the natives call them LBHs, losers back home.
Damn.
His co-world. And then we have what the writer wanted to describe as a blob of blondes. So
the messy besties.
Yeah, the messy besties. You want to talk about some gossip, and we have Kate, we have Jacqueline, and then the third one, Lori. And so like Kate and Jacqueline, they got money. Lori, she's struggling because her ex-husband he took her to the cleaners. And then we got hotel staff. We got Guy Took Mook, who's one of the Blackpink. She's super cute. And then Valentine and
I remember all those Russian guys' names.
And then we also have Belinda. She shows up because the very first scene is actually Belinda's son, and he's sitting there with one of the staff doing a meditation sort of stress management session, and she's trying to get him to meditate, block everything out, but then they hear gunshots. He was like, ma'am,
Bop, bop.
those are gunshots.
Now listen, we got to get out of here. I know that.
Yeah, he's like, my mom's out there. And then we jump back a week.
Right.
Okay, and then we're just like, but we find out that was Zion, and his mother is Belinda, who we know from season 1.
Yes.
So, and Belinda's also Kelly from Insecure. Oh, and also too, because if you want to picture these people, if you're just listening, Tim, like Radcliffe, the dad with all the people, that's Lucas Malfoy from Harry Potter, Draco's daddy.
Why didn't I never figure that out?
Because he didn't have that wig on. Because he didn't have the lace
Damn,
front.
and when you say that now, I know.
Yeah, he's good at playing a
I'm
rich
bad
daddy.
at this. This is what Keith is. My husband is so tickled by this all the time. He's like, you didn't know that was him? Like he'll spend, I feel like, an extra amount of time
that's
being
not
like,
your job.
you don't know that's who that is?
Couple. Obviously, that's his job
This
in the
is your
relationship.
thing, babe. You're supposed to tell
and
me.
then you do everything else.
He thinks it's hilarious. I'm like, that was him? He's like, clearly.
You order the cookies and make the mac and cheese.
Hello,
he
right.
didn't remember to do that.
He didn't.
You're-
Okay,
well,
but he gets
so
credit
maybe
for
bring
it.
that up next time. I'm the worst. My love
No, you're
language
not.
is keeping score.
Well, okay.
And for everybody who doesn't know, Kat is still single. So anyway,
I mean, I do it
we
too.
have these mixture of these characters, right? So they're coming over on the boat. And then we got the staff. And so my favorite 2 staff members were Mook and Guy Tuck. And they're
So cute.
lifelong friends. They're super cute. They're Thai
Adorable.
natives. And so all of their dialogue between each other is in Thai. So you have to, this is not a show where you can be on your phone and be watching it. You have to pay attention.
Right.
And so you can tell he likes her. She's playing him off because he's a little too soft for her or whatever. She's like, maybe you want to be a little more ambitious around here.
And you are the security guard at the hotel. So it's like, I'm not really sure what I mean, she works there too, which is kind of shade, but she's a beautiful woman. So I guess maybe you have a little bit more
Well, she was just saying, like, you need to move up. Like, you need to be
have
like,
at least ambitions for it.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a little Lady Macbeth. It's just like, you gotta have that ambition if you want to be like,
Hey,
me.
I'm a bad bitch. So,
Yeah,
hello.
so
That's what I require.
Yeah, just
so
so
you know.
So yeah, that's kind of their dynamic or whatever. So
He's so enamored too.
So I feel like a big crux of the thing is Tim, once they get there, because the staff is like, yeah, we really encourage our guests to put their phones up. And they're like, nah, he's like, forget that noise. I need my phone. And then come to find out he's being indicted by the feds. He's like, what? Apparently he was in some shady deal in Vietnam. The feds are seizing his assets.
Wow.
Like it's gonna be
messy.
and he's trying to hide it from his family. So he's like, hey, everybody, let's put the phones up.
Right,
like once
right,
he
right,
realizes he can't control the situation, he's like, he doesn't want everybody finding out. He can't deal with it. Stills his wife's laudanum. Or what was that stuff? Was it laudanum?
Volume something.
Benzos. And
Whatever it
so, her anti-anxiety medication is popping those
Popping
pills.
the whole week.
Oh, also, I left out Gary/Greg and Chloe because he and Belinda, they knew each other from season 1. And Belinda's like, ooh, I got your number. So come to find out, she was supposed to start a business with his late wife, Come to find out, in season 2, he might have done some stuff to get rid of her to get the money. And so she's kind of like scared for her life.
Yeah, she should.
Because she Googles it because he's going by a different name now. She's like, aren't you Greg? And he was like, no, I'm Gary. And she's like, are you sure? I was like, girl, shut up.
It's like, all right then.
Like, she could have kept it pushing. And then for the messy besties, we got Jacqueline, who's a TV star, a movie star.
Yeah,
and she's paying for the trip. And then
Mm-hmm.
Kate, who is like I get a feeling she's a stay-at-home mom in Austin. And then Lori, who is some sort of businesswoman, and you can just tell she hasn't kept up physically the way the other two have, because they're just like, oh my God, you look amazing. And she's like,
oh, she's actually a little flabby. Right. And then the one, who's the one with the short hair?
Kate?
Yeah, she very much giving trad wife.
Mm-hmm. MAGA
mom of all time, you know, like just very, you know.
And
just
every
her
time
Jesus.
when there were the three of them together, they were being super fake. And then as soon as one of them would leave, they'd be
The
like,
two would be like, girl, she's a whole mess.
do you remember that sketch?
Oh my
I'm
God.
referencing SNL a lot, but do you remember when, was it Freight Armisen and the other chick for Weekend Update, where they would be like, oh my God, he's so great.
I love them. And then, but
Sometimes he'll be like, he came in and he was just like,
right, yeah. That was Kristen Wiig and him, was it?
he wasn't Kristen
I'm
Wiig, it was the
picturing
other
that.
white girl.
Okay, I got to mess up with
Because you're racist.
with the sweaters.
But it's
No,
fine.
because they have a skit that I love too. Probably that, but
That's
also
it when they make up the lyrics and they're trying to
Yes,
keep
so it was
on.
also
Yeah,
that,
they
yes.
have a lot of bits. There's a lot going on.
Okay, okay.
But anyway, every time they did that, that's what I thought of, and it was
Oh my
hilarious to
God.
me. And they would just start talking about each other behind each other's backs. Or
And as
whatever.
ladies, we know how that goes, right?
well,
We've
that's
been
why I
there,
dedicated the
unfortunately.
episode to gossip. It's like, well, that ex-husband took all her money,
Actually.
and he's like, her and her husband never see each other. Yeah, it's like, she voted for Trump. I'm like, oh my God, she just always does whatever Dave says. So that was the vibe.
Yes, okay.
It was funny to watch. And then
Dave, what a mess.
then who else did we have? Because there was just so much
Belinda,
going
we have the hotel
on.
staff. We've got
Oh, it's actually kind of funny too, because I feel like the Ratcliffes, they really, like, to me, they were so fascinating.
they nailed it.
Like, their dynamic, it was, you know what it was? They reminded me of the family that my grandmother worked for.
Really?
Because it was pretty much the same, like, dynamic where it was the father, he was in finance, the
Okay.
mom was staying home, you had the older son, the younger son, and a girl.
Trying to be the daddy.
And it was a lot of tension. Because listen, here's the thing. If you have a housekeeper, they are telling all your business.
Boom.
And so,
Matter of fact, we need to review a book.
about a housekeeper?
Because what's the one book? It'll come to me. But there's
Okay.
a book that's been out in the last couple years that's been reviewed heavily. That's about basically like the domestic help. Yeah, and then them telling everybody's secrets.
Yeah,
I see
just know
it.
that's what's going on.
Because I'm actually a person, the interesting thing to me about that is that I think that you forget as the person paying them to be there to do stuff that they're actually real
People.
Yeah,
they're
that they're like
people.
observing everything
Oh,
that's
trust
happening.
me. And because they would say all kind of stuff in front of my grandmother.
I bet.
because she's just like part of the furniture.
And you're not, what are you getting ready to say?
Right, like she's
I
told
know
her
y'all are the
granddaughter,
worst.
It's not like I'm not.
I'm here to make the money. I'm not here because y'all are fabulous in real
and
time.
it sounded like he was doing some shady stuff too. I mean,
Oof.
you almost have to in this world. It
It's
sounds
true.
like that's just how the
It's
stuff
part of
moves
it.
or whatever. So what's his name, Rick?
Mm-hmm.
He's because everybody's there for a reason. So the Radcliffes are there because the daughter wanted to go there because she said she wanted to work on her thesis, but she's lying. She's there because she wants to convert to Buddhism and wants to learn more about it.
Okay.
And then Rick, he's there because he wants to confront the man that killed his father, quote unquote.
Air quotes, guys.
And Chelsea's just trapped,
She's like, that's my boo. I'm going
she's
with
like,
you.
that's my soulmate. You're my soulmate. What do you think about their relationship?
Tragic.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it was she saw in him. I was trying to understand.
That was her soulmate. She saw his soul.
Was it though?
I mean, they
Was
went
it
out
worth
the
it,
same.
Chelsea? Yeah, we'll get there. But I just feel like
because spoilers.
I didn't get it. Are we
Good.
gonna tell him right now?
Okay, well, I mean, okay, fine. I was trying to, you know me, I love cutting to the chase.
Jeez.
And then
There's
who
some
else?
intrigue
Who else
for me.
had some? What are the other major conflicts?
Let's see. The messy besties. We talked about them. Belinda. Well, let's get more into the Belinda story, though, right?
Okay, so Belinda is there because she works at the White Lotus in Maui.
So she was there for some training or something?
She was there for like a really intensive training for like 3 months or something like that.
Which,
and so she gets into it with, I can never remember the guy's name.
He
had abs though.
He did.
He was a very attractive Thai man. So they have their little flirtation. Oh, here it is. Porn Chai.
Thank you. Good.
His name was Porn Chai. And
damn it, Chat GPT, you.
So Porn Chai, they have like a little brief, and plus it's actually kind of funny because they do end up linking up, and that's exactly when the sun ends up showing up. Like, or after they hook up, like they're, in the afterglow. Yeah. And he shows up, but he's just mostly teasing her. He's like, I'm happy for you, Ma. You know, get yours.
And it was cute to see that because, you know, you get a sense that she was in a space where, I mean, obviously her child is older. You know, she's working this job that she really likes, that she's passionate about. You really get into that in season 1 in terms of like her passion for wellness and like really helping people and stuff like that. And so, you know, her taking this opportunity to get this 3-month training in Thailand and get these extra things. And then she meets this, you know, staff member who they have this chemistry. So it was kind of cute. I was like, okay, Belinda, I see you, girl.
I was cheering for him.
Okay. And you know, there's always a subtext of Asian men and Black women getting together too, because those are the 2 most overlooked groups. So
especially,
I don't know, in my mind it's always cute.
Online dating. Those
online
are the 2,
dating, yes.
Groups that usually get played to the left. So yeah, it was nice to see them.
It was cute.
Kind of get into it or whatever. So, let's see.
But what about I wanted to get into, so I don't want to jump ahead too much, but I want to talk about what had happened was. So let's go through the whole thing. So so you've introduced all the groups. I feel like we know who all the players are. Let's as in you do a beat.
Well, let's just, I'm going to go through, let's just go with Belinda, where she starts with in the story. So, like I said, she has that interaction with Greg/Gary, and then does her own little Google search, and then she's like, oh, he killed Tanya. Kinda. I mean, he definitely set it up. She kind of, I mean, that's all season 2.
He would have killed her.
He definitely put the plans in motion. He was the proximal cause of her death.
Thank you.
Would be a good way to, and he's also changed his name and is evading the authorities, right? Because they had some questions about her death because they're like, y'all, this looks crazy.
Let me get
weird.
out of here, though. Yeah, and
it's like, it just so happened that your billionaire, you know, or not billionaire, but like she had $500 million woman that you were married to and made you sign a prenup for not that long, and now she dead. And you just happen to be out of town. Okay.
In Thailand, of all places, which the subtext of Thailand being
he was in Denver when she died.
So subtext of this season 3 being in Thailand, I thought was interesting. To your point, was that there was like this subtext of like, oh, this is where business guys go when they're like hiding from the authorities. Like even
there was an episode called Hide and Seek.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're either there because you're seeking something or you're hiding from something.
Yeah. And even the Ratcliffe wife was saying that because when they were on the yacht, and she was like, oh my God, like all these people are here.
There's probably some killers
on here.
Listen, she wasn't a dope. Just because she was doped out, she was on game. Like she once again, surviving that kind of life that they're living, like they make it, she's like, oh, everything's so easy. But no, staying on top, it takes constant vigilance. So yeah, Belinda, she kind of figures out what's going on. So Gary offers her $100,000 just to be cool. He was like, let's not, you know, he's like, look, it was really tragic what happened to Tanya. I know that she spoke about you a lot and really believed in, you know, the spy you were talking about. So how about I give you $100,000 to start that? And so she tells her son, and when he gets there, he was like, man, that ain't enough to get a salon or a spa started, not the way you want to. He was like, man, this dude is desperate. You need to ask for more money. And so she's like, oh, no, not all money. Oh, because you know what that made me think of? Sinners, weirdly enough. Just when the Annie character didn't want to take Smoke's money, because not all money is good money, and that's a part of Hoodoo too, like where you get the money from and stuff like that. Like, because she's like, I don't want the blood money. But they go in and she negotiates $5 million out of him.
Her son does.
No,
doesn't she?
Well, because she storms off and she's like, now go back in there and tell him. Deal. He was like, oh, mama, you really? Because the other thing it reminded me of was Jack Attack from 30 Rock, which is his book on negotiation. Listen, we don't get taught good lessons on negotiation because
She said,
for the longest time, I didn't even realize when you get a job, you're supposed to negotiate a salary.
Oh,
like
yes.
a lot of times women talk about this, but really a lot of people talk about how like you're not given that information that you're supposed to counter with something. So she goes in and she does one of the things that is a good negotiation tactic where you walk away. Like you have to let the people know I'm willing to walk away from the table.
Bye.
So you better meet my needs. So yeah, she gets up and then he
follows her.
He follows her. He's like,
in there and
Mom. He
follow
was like,
her.
I thought you. She's like, okay, now you go back in there and tell him that your mother is a fish. Takes this very personally.
Yeah.
And then does it. So yeah, they
worked it.
Yeah, they worked it together. You can tell they've, as a single parent, trust me.
It's like, you know me, I know you.
Yeah,
Let's be
like
for
you
real.
get real. But she's like, because at first she was talking to Porn Chai about starting a spa with him in Thailand because she wouldn't need that much money.
Because she was talking about Tanya about that season one.
Right. And it's very interesting that she kind of did
The same.
They mirrored what Tanya did. But as my daughter pointed out, she was like, man, she only knew that dude for a couple days. She didn't really owe him nothing. I was like, got a good point there.
I mean, she didn't. Tanya didn't owe her anything either.
She didn't.
But we
She
felt
didn't.
more sorry for her because I guess it felt like, it just felt like, oh, yeah, that does happen,
Yeah.
But at the same time,
and the
you
fact
can't.
too, Tanya's just like, hey, I'm like, I got some romance now. I don't need to be
that
helping
part.
people and stuff like that. So yeah, so Belinda does that, and she really kind of got a happy ending. I get the feeling
now.
that it's coming back. Yeah, because here's the thing:
'Cause,
you're complicit in this now.
Because you know that he
Yeah.
killed her and you're taking money not to say nothing.
And it's
so
still an
you're
open
not-
investigation.
I
So they
couldn't
can
do it.
still, because trust me, your bank's going to notify somebody that this much money moved around.
$5 million now?
Yeah, that doesn't, listen, money brings heat.
It
But
does.
that's just
It does.
that's what wraps up for Belinda. Then we have the messy besties. They're trying to
bless
sort
it.
of reignite their youth a little bit. So they end up linking up with Valentine and his Russian friends and going
Right,
out
because
on
he
the
works
town.
at the resort too. One of them works, so him
Yeah.
and his friends get up with them after the fact, and it's like, oh, let's go party, let's hang out.
Yeah. And then I think my favorite part, because it was giving a little 90 Day Fiance vibes. Because first,
Go through the whole thing.
Jackie, she's like, oh, you should
She's
hook
a
up with
celebrity.
Valentine.
She's a
and she's
celebrity.
married.
She's the one who,
And but they've
She's
been
on a
telling
girls'
her,
trip.
we learned through gossip that her and her husband, they never see each other. He's 10 years younger than her. Like, what does she think all this stuff. So she ends up hooking up with Valentine after trying to get Lori to hook up with him, and Lori's ends up finding out about it. She's like, why did you try to push me into hooking up with him when you obviously wanted to hook up with him? And threw Jackie under the bus because she was like, well, Jackie had told me, and it's like, or not Jackie. What did I say?
the other girl, I don't know.
So
This is
Kate,
mimetic
I know,
theory,
right?
what we talked about, mimetic theory.
And then Kate was like, she was like, well, Kate had told me that and Kate's like, bitch, why
Why
would
would
you
you
put my name
tell
in this? You
me?
could have just said you saw
No,
you didn't
bitch,
do it.
you
No,
said it.
everybody's going down. So
You said it.
they cracked me up quite a bit. But then Lori does end up hooking up with one of the other Russian dudes at his apartment. And then his girlfriend busts in. She got to drop out the window. But before she left, he tried to hit her up for $10K.
He was like,
Giving
my
some
mom
sob story
was
about my
in
mama.
LA.
It's like, well, I cannot leave Thailand because I've overstayed my visit and I just need some money. Do you think you could wire? You got
She
PayPal,
was
Cash
like,
App,
I don't.
Zelle? He was going down the list. I'm like, dude, your game is getting kind of weak right
Desperate.
now.
Yeah, it's too bad.
But yeah, she hopped out the window, got a cab, made back to the resort safely by a miracle. But towards the end, they really do kind of solidify their friendship. I like the speech she kind of gave at the end of the table, and they kind of cry. And
yeah, she's
they
like,
kind of had a
"Man, this is kinda
sweet
messed
sort
up."
of like
As sweet as it can
messy.
be for, them. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, like because they didn't end up being the dead bodies, so good for them. Because at a certain point, you thought, I was like, man, she gonna
Ooh,
kill
it wasn't
that hoe.
them. I know, exactly. Well, and you do have, I think a lot of the time too, especially because we just got off of reviewing Sex in the City, and one of the things we enjoyed a lot was the female friendship and the camaraderie and all that kind of stuff. And so, I was thinking like, I was surprised for the happy ending because I thought it was going down
too.
one of those
ain't
lanes
gonna
of
be
like,
talking no
man,
more.
because this is fucked up. But also I felt for Jacqueline because, it has to be hard to be, an aging celebrity
In the spotlight.
in the spotlight with this younger husband or whatever. But then also too, it's like, who are my friends? Like, who can I connect with and like just do my thing without being judged. You know, I
Right.
think she felt judged in a way, even though it was kind of like, girl, what are we doing though?
Right, for real though.
You know, but at the same time, like that is kind of what happens with friends sometimes, where you witness some fuck shit and you just be like, okay, all right.
Right. It's like, I'm
You know what I
sorry,
mean?
it's
I
like,
won't-
I gotta keep it real.
Yeah, I can't, keep you on the cross on this for the rest of our lives
Oh,
or whatever.
and
so.
fun thing, Lori, she's what's her name? Bertha from Gilded Age.
Oh, she was.
Yeah, that Carrie Coon.
Oh, she did a good job. Yeah, she's a
did.
good actress.
Very good. And
So,
then
yeah,
who was our other
that was
little
cute.
pod? 'Cause I'm trying to save the Ratcliffes and Rick and them for last.
Okay, so we have Greg, Zion, and romantic interests. Chloe, Greg. Okay, we didn't even say them. Why it matters.
I guess that's all we got left. I'm gonna go
That's
ahead and do
it.
the Ratcliffes.
Okay, let's do
Okay,
it.
because they're deep. So once again, like I established, the daughter's there. Oh God, those two sons.
Wait, we'll do
Jesus.
them and then Mook. And we'll end off on Mook and them because that kind of like Mook and Guy
Talk.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So the oldest brother, played by Patrick Schwarzenegger, who's a Kennedy, by the way. So
Ooh,
like
fancy schmancy. He's a man.
yeah, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's son. So he knows about being in a rich family. So he played that part very well. But he's sort of a dude bro. He works with his dad in finance. They both went to Duke. The daughter went to Chapel Hill. So the youngest son is like, he's just now finishing up high school. So he's kind of got to make a decision about where he's going to go. And he's just sort of the people pleaser.
Okay, stop. They're all brothers and sisters in real life.
Who?
All three of them. The sister, like they're biological. There's not like one of them is from somebody else. The Ratcliffes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Oh.
Because of what happened, I needed to understand that they were
Oh,
actually
yeah.
born of the same parents,
Full
friend.
brother. Yeah, they're full brother and
God
sister.
damn. Okay.
So and they have a very weird dynamic because the first brother, he's a
do.
very dude bro. He's very dumb and he's just inappropriate. Like he's about to like jack off in front of him. Basically, he's always asking him like, "Are you having sex?" and like all this other stuff. It's very
But also, he made some comment about their sister.
Yeah,
that
the
I felt
sister,
like,
too.
is that a stepsister? Is this their...
no. He's
That's what I'm
just gross.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just feel like that type.
Y'all tell me if it's
So,
something I missed. Because I was
no,
like,
he's just inappropriate. And like I said, what's her name, Chelsea, because he tried to hook up with Chelsea, Rick's girlfriend, and she's like, I'm not gonna hook up with you. That'd be empty.
You're
He's like,
correct.
why? She's like, because you have no soul. And
he was clutching
Yes.
his pearls.
but
Right.
anyway, they have a full moon a full moon festival where he ends up going on Greg's yacht with Greg's wife Chloe and Chelsea.
Are they married?
Chloe
Or is that
and
his
Greg?
girlfriend? Yeah.
At least I'm pretty sure. Maybe
Okay.
we'll double check that. But from what I remember, I'm pretty sure they're married. And so then, because Greg, he's like, no, I can't go to the festival. She's like, well, I already told him they can go, so can I just take the boat? And, they were not married. Okay, my bad. Correction. Chloe and Greg, not married. And so then they go to the moon festival or the full moon festival on the boat. And while they're there, they party. This is Chloe, Chelsea, Patrick Schwarzenegger, what's his name? Gavin or something?
Not Gavin. She gave this man. Hold up.
What are the
We said it
babies'
before, and it's
names?
getting
I
later, so I don't
know.
remember. Hold up.
It's
Ratcliffe.
Ratcliffe
Piper
and Locke.
Saxon.
Saxon and Lachlan.
Lachlan. Mhm.
So the four of them are out partying. What's his name? Saxon. He usually doesn't take drugs, but he go ahead. It didn't take much peer pressure. She was like, "Come on." He's
like, "Fine, if it means we're gonna
She
hunch."
didn't even tell him what it was. Just took the pill. To me, that was like, that was reckless. Anyway, so
Pretty girls.
They end up. He ends up having a three-way with his brother and Greg's girlfriend, or Gary Greg's girlfriend. And it's weird and it's incestuous and gross. So the next day when they get back, the sister, Piper, she wants to go to the monastery and check it out. And so the brother's like, okay, yeah, I'll come with y'all. And the parents
Locke is
go
like,
to
"I'll
make
go."
sure it's not a cult. So they get there and she's like, okay. The dad's like, yeah, it looks great because this is somewhere you can stay for no money because we're about to be broke. So I say go for it. Also,
Great.
I'm high on benzos. And then
Oh, so I'm high on
the
Ben.
brother's like, yeah, I'll stay too. So she ends up staying the night there, and he's kind of trying to clear his mind and stuff because he's like, man, something really, this
jacked my brother
crazy. Because he's kind of like, maybe I'll just stay here too because I don't want to go back to my life.
Which is crazy though. And she was kind of like, no, this is kind of reminded me of, what was the one where it was like, the person was trying to attach themselves to the other person's dream. We just had a story like that. And it was like, no, like you're taking away my opportunity to have my own autonomous moment.
It did remind me of something, but yeah.
It'll come to me.
Yeah, it'll get there. But but the mother was smart. She was like, hey, stay one night here and tell me you still want to do this. Because the mother was freaking out that the daughter wanted to become Buddhist.
But also too, that was kind of gross to me.
What?
That, I mean, for one, let her figure it the fuck out. Like you know what I'm saying?
I was thinking she was really like, not just emotionally, but like scared for her physically. Like I wouldn't want my daughter.
Nobody wants their daughter to do that, but at the same time, too, I felt like
it was more. She was worried about public perception.
That's what
more than
that
anything.
part, and it's like don't act like your life in proximity to the life that you are living isn't directly pushing her toward that. So like to me, it's like she feels like this because your life is fucking empty. Yeah, like y'all are out here. She doesn't want this life.
But I think she also knew her daughter because we know our kids.
That part, I mean, she did.
She was like, no, just stay here one night, and if you still want to do it, I'll shut up about it. She's like, I'll support you. She's like, well, I won't support you, but I'll shut up about it. And I was
same
like,
thing.
And so the daughter's like, okay, cool, I'll take that deal. I really want to do this. And it turns out the mama was right. Daughter was like, she was like, the food wasn't organic.
Yeah.
This mattress
she
had
felt
stains,
bad. She was
and
like,
she didn't feel
I'm
bad.
a
She's like,
princess,
I didn't
I
want it
guess.
to be like this. And listen, I'm
That's
with you,
how I
girl.
feel.
I wish I was better too.
I'm an American.
But it's like, at the end of the day, and then so the daddy's like, damn it.
Because
in his mind, he's like, okay, I think I'm going to kill myself.
That was so sad.
That was.
Really watching his inner dialogue throughout those 8 episodes and watching him from realizing like, okay, wait, who do they know? Yeah, and then just understanding that like, I think my family's only here because of this shit. And that was, to me, it was so heartbreaking to feel like, and gave me a glimpse into how it must feel to be a guy in some ways in terms of like the pressure you feel to provide for your family. Like when you're put up on this pedestal to be like, okay, you gotta, he's providing this lifestyle. Like that's the ultimate goal. And so like once you have this lifestyle, like you're saying, a lot of times what's put in front of you in terms of what you have to do to keep that up is crazy. And it might be something that's illegal. It might be something that's against your own personal, moral code or whatever. But it was sad to me to see him like asking his kids, like, trying to be casual, like, so do you think you could, like, if you didn't have any money, like,
and ask the wife too.
The wife,
and the wife was like, no, I don't think I could.
She was like, absolutely not.
And the son was like, the oldest son was like, no, my whole identity's wrapped up in you,
bitch. I am your shadow.
Yeah, and
I am you. It was so sad. Like that took me out. Because,
but I think it was interesting against the contrast of Buddhism, which is this idea that we are prisons of our identity.
Yes, and he even told him that. Like that was really touching when he went into that Buddhist temple and talked to the guy, because the mom was like, go in there and talk and see what's going on. So you felt him feeling that connection of like, like what you're doing right now is fraudulent as fuck, and your daughter's probably picking up on that, and that's why she likes it here.
Yeah. Or does she?
But I mean, in theory,
yeah, she likes the idea
we like
of it,
the
but
idea.
the reality of it was just a little too much. It was out of what she could do. Mm-hmm. So in his mind, he's like, okay, I think I'm just gonna mercy kill myself and my family.
He kept visualizing it, which was crazy to see over and over again.
And then the youngest Lachlan, he had asked him, he was like, hey, do you think you could live without money? He was like, yeah, I think I could. Mm-hmm. So he's like, okay, I won't kill you. So he ends up making, there's these fruit.
Well, first of all, let's go back, because before that, what did he do, friend?
For what?
When he was trying to kill himself.
Oh, well, I'm gonna get to that later when I talk about Mukun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it into that story.
Okay.
And so his solution is, I'm gonna steal my, he had stole the benzos from his wife, so he's getting high all weekend. And then he's like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna mercy kill my family with the fruit from this tree, because there were a lot of like snake and fruit and like Garden of Eden themes in it too. And so the lady at the resort told him, it's like, yeah, don't eat the fruit on the tree. The seeds are poisonous. Like a lot of people use them for suicide. He was like, okay, good to know. So he pops them in the blender. He's like, I'm gonna make us pina coladas. Lachlan, you underage, you can't have one. But at the last minute, he's like, no, milk went bad. Nobody drink it. Next morning, Lachlan, there's still some residue in the blender. He's making a protein shake and drinks it. And it looks like he's about to die. And then the daddy wakes up and sees him laying by the pool. And he's like, oh no. And he's holding him. But it was a fake out. Lachlan throws up the poison and he's fine. And he's like, I think I saw God. And he was like, oh man. And then the daddy's like, you know what? This is what's important. This is what matters. My family, like, that's my real riches in life. It took that. But it was terrifying because when that part happened, I was so happy when Locke came back to life because he was the only one who was really worth something. And so at the end of the trip, when they get back on the boat going back to the airport, they get their phones and he's like, look, things are about to change, but we're gonna make it through as a family. Okay, so then that takes us to Mook and Gaituk. And so Gaituk, he's the security guard, like I said before, but he was not good at his job. So he gets distracted by Valentine, and there's a robbery that happens. So after that, the security guy's like, we're gonna get a gun for the resort and teach you how to shoot it. And so Mook had been playing him to the side, but when she finds out that he's gonna be having a gun now, she's like, okay, like, let's do this. He's like, so you go on that date now? She's like, yeah, let's do that date. So they go on the date and he's just talking to her like, man, I'm a Buddhist. I don't really like hurting people and stuff. She's like, baby, violence is part of the life. You're just gonna have to.
What you gonna do? Get your ass kicked?
Yeah, like it's just what you gotta do and stuff. So he's like, okay, fine. So, but one day when he's like looking at the gun and stuff, he gets distracted by Mook because he's like, oh yeah, girl, you look cute. Let me walk you over to the thing, and just leaves the gun out on the desk. And Tim, Daddy Ratcliffe, he sees it and he was like, oh, I can use this to kill myself. So he steals the gun, but then Mook sneaks into the room and steals it back. And just in time, like, oh, that was so much suspense. Whoever shot this, so good at suspense. I was just like, but at the same time thinking, like, he doesn't need to have this job. He probably should lose this job. He's not very good at it.
He said it. He was like, I don't think I'm good at this.
He's not cut out for this at all. And he figures out while he's on his date with Mook that the Russian guy, Valentine, who works at the resort, was in on the robbery.
Right.
And so when Valentine's like, hey, I know you know, but if you tell on me, I'm going to be sent back to Russia and murdered. So he moved. So could you tell, did he end up, I don't think he did. They don't really say if he ends up telling.
They didn't. I mean,
so we're just like, I don't think he did.
No.
If I had to guess, I don't think he did. But because I didn't really get into Rick's story that much. Oh, that's who I forgot. So Rick and Celeste, right? So Rick leaves the resort White Lotus for a couple days to go to Bangkok to stalk the guy who thinks killed his father. Come to find out, and he links up with one of his old friends named Frank, who used to be wild, and now he's a Buddhist and celibate and sober and stuff, but he ends up relapsing while he's there. And but like he sneaks into the guy, he weasels his way into the guy's house and is gonna kill him, but he couldn't do it. He's like, this guy's so old and pathetic, I can't even bring myself to do it. But he's one of the owners of the hotel, of the White Lotus. So
yeah, because the lady she's the entry point. So there's like this
was it Salida?
She's a celebrity there. She's a singer, actress,
and so that's how that was their intro into the getting in the house.
Because it was like, oh, he's a movie producer and he's looking at making a movie about your life.
Because she was vain. And so then last day of the resort, because he ends up after he instead of killing him, he just pushes him down,
which was funny.
It was kind of funny.
His chair.
But I thought it was kind of a weird move to go back to the White Lotus. This dude owns it, so whatever. Because his name was Jim.
Can't find
Jim was the name of the guy that he thinks killed his daddy. So come to find out, it's his last day at the White Lotus and stuff, and Jim and them show up because they want a picture with Jackie,
who's one of the celebrities.
Yeah, because the wife is obsessed with celebrity and stuff. So while they're taking pictures, Rick sees him and he was like, you know what? Because he knows he's got a pistol on him, and he goes up to him, takes the pistol, and shoots him dead. And so everybody's freaking. So we realize now those are the shots we heard at the beginning of the series. So pop, pop, pop. He shoots him. They end up having a shootout. Celeste ends up getting killed. And so when he realizes that she's dead, and he's like, oh, because here's the other thing. I want points. Give me points. I want points because I had figured out that Jim was actually Rick's daddy.
It was based on something he said. I feel like he said something in the conversation. I was thinking, like, that's his dad.
Because he was just saying his daddy and shit. When he was like, for one, he was like...
It was something the dad actually said that I was like...
That's what I said. Like, he said your dad wasn't shit. He was like, and like, your dad wasn't shit. So
that's me.
Yeah, me. That's how I know.
Personally.
So, but I had already kind of put two and two together because it was giving Star Wars. So I had already, even before that scene, I was like, that's gonna be his daddy. And when I saw he was Western, because at first I figured he was Thai.
Right, but
when I saw he was a Western dude, I was like, oh, that's his daddy, I bet you. And so after he shoots him, the wife screams at him. It's like, why did you do that? And she was like, because he killed my father. It's like, bitch, he is your father. And then he's just like, what? And then he turns and see his girl is dead, who actually loved him. She had told him, it's like, instead of concentrating on the love you didn't get, concentrate on the love you have right now.
Couldn't do it.
And so while he's carrying her body, realizing he done wrecked his, life. And everything. Here come Guy Tuck, and the woman's like, shoot him, and so he does.
And he's trying to prove himself. He didn't even want to though, but he's like, man, this girl's not gonna love me no more.
I need
got
that
a good job, right?
I need that move. So he ends up shooting them, and then we find out that that's the dead bodies. It's Rick and Celeste and them.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, but it was a ride. And so Guy Tuck, he ends up becoming her the owner's personal bodyguard, the wife's, and
I assume him and Mook or her. You know what would be a fun twist is that he was like, you know what, fuck that. I don't even want to be with you no more.
Well, once again, that would
that's
be
what
releasing
happens.
Himself from that identity.
That was the same thing.
Once I get it,
right. That's the thing of even Belinda. It was like, you know what? I know we were lovers moments ago, and we were talking about building shit, but I'm a millionaire now.
Well,
things
that
have
was
changed.
just a 2-day affair.
Still though, I mean, they were childhood friends, bitch. I don't owe you nothing, okay? And you wasn't checking for me, you wanted me to, you wanted me to go past what I was willing to do. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You want to be with. What did he say? I don't know the rap lyrics. Oh my gosh. Now I'm
hot.
Yes, that
Back
one.
Then,
You didn't want me.
Now I'm hot. All on me.
Thank you. Yeah. I knew you knew. That is what I meant. Okay, that's very important.
My jump.
I need that tattoo. That part.
Yes. So that's pretty much what happened.
Oh my gosh.
It brings up a lot of themes, especially the idea of. We really do feel like, oh, if I get this, then I'll be happy. And that was what the Buddhist guru was talking about, where we run from pain and then just run into more pain. And this idea of, I think I wrote it down. What was it? Amor, let me see, something. What is this concept called?
Fancy words.
I want that. There. Amor fati.
Your handwriting.
It's pretty great. So, Amor fati.
Oh yeah, that was the name of one of the episodes.
Yes, it was. And it's this idea of loving life no matter what happens.
Ooh, that's hard.
Yes. So it's basically loving your fate. So what we perceive as the bad and the good, knowing that they're both necessary and accepting it.
And unavoidable.
Yes.
My earring just flew off.
Oh, because of gravity.
Gravity. Yes.
I love gravity.
Okay.
So,
I mean, it's necessary, I guess.
It
so you
is.
love it?
I mean, we once again, it's our enemy and our friend.
It's true. It's like everything.
Just like everything.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what did you think about the whole incestuous situation
I didn't
with
like
the brothers? That was so awkward. I was like, dude, I
like it.
For
one, I was like, first off, with Chloe still going through with it after that was going on.
She was like, it's fine.
That shit. Okay, because here's the other thing. Because she was trying to get the older brother to come back the next night because she ended up telling Greg about what had happened.
Like,
and he was like, he was telling her he was turned on by it. Do you think he was?
I feel like
or was it a trap?
I feel like it might have been a trap.
Okay. I was feeling like it was a trap.
Because ain't no way. I'm trying to picture the man, especially. In my mind, male ego. Right, there are cucks and there are men who don't care and want to see that, but he wasn't giving me that 100%. He could have been, but I don't think so.
I was thinking because for Greg, for him to live so opulently, you know what I mean? Like, you're letting everybody know you have money, right? So you're never going to know people's intentions for real. Like, even with Chloe, like, you got to know,
so
like,
maybe it's just, I need your booty cheeks spread so I can,
Well, no, I'm just saying he's never going to feel secure. Like, I think he was probably planning on killing her. Because...
killing Chloe?
as like maybe a measure of self-defense almost. Not even killing her. It's like Mary said they weren't even married, but because
I was gonna say maybe blackmailing. Like maybe you want this situation to happen so you have something over them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was just thinking because of he knows how he did Tanya. So he knows now that he's in Tanya's position.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what it looks like when somebody's doing that to you.
Oh,
So,
yeah, true.
you know, so that's where I'm thinking like Greg is probably playing it because at the end where she's flirting with this young guy and he just winks at her, I'm like, is he actually turned on by this? Or
I couldn't
is he just setting it up so that he can get rid of her? So I don't know. That was something that was interesting to me because I really don't.
I
want
feel like
to-
getting rid of. I don't. That was my impression.
Because she said when they were first hooked up, like he wanted her like 3 times a day,
Yeah.
and now she said he's like a monk. He never touches her, and that's why she wanted to mess with
The other guy.
Ratcliffe boys. So
Or whoever. It didn't matter. It was
yeah,
like,
she just
I'm out
wanted
here. I'm young and
desired. Yeah,
beautiful.
she wanted to be desired,
Okay.
and so I'm wondering with Greg, is he now just kind of turned off by the fact that he knows she's just there
For the money.
Yeah.
Like he was.
Like he was, exactly. Like you know exactly what's on her mind because
And
you
to
were
me,
her.
this is right. And I feel like this is where the next season will take us with Belinda
okay.
in my mind. So I am putting that out there that I feel like she's going to have to face her, you know, how it feels to be in that other position.
Yeah, it's when the shoe was on the
When
other
the shoe's
foot.
on the
Where
other
you?
foot.
Well, my whole thing is, I think it's usually better just to maybe not flaunt your wealth if you don't want those consequences. Like you can enjoy a comfortable life
Wear some New
without
Balances.
without living in a palatial
Plain t-shirts.
mansion. Because again, like you have to do. Because even with Chloe, she was talking about like, oh, now I gotta bribe the yacht staff so they don't tell what I
On
did
me,
with
yeah.
and stuff like that. And you're never.
yacht
And like I
staff.
said too, like whoever
With
your
money
staff
that's not even
is,
yours.
they're talking exactly.
I gotta bribe you with this dude's money. I gotta make sure I have still access to his money to make sure I can bribe the people that he has hired to take care of him.
Right. And then you have to know that, I don't know, to me there's always this, because if we watch something else next, it's got to be industry. Because this is a lot of the themes in that too, where it's just this, I want people to be aware that even if you have money problems right now, even if you get a windfall tomorrow, you're still going to have money problems. Like, there's just going to be different types of money problems.
Oh my God.
So there's,
I just still can't get over the brothers.
that I
How
really
do you
wanted
move
that.
on? How do you pretend like that didn't happen? And it was weird because you didn't know exactly what happened until they kept having these flashbacks
yeah.
individually, and it was like,
I mean, you just blame it on the drugs. That's what the older brother did.
he was like,
just
please don't ever say nothing to me ever again
about
that.
this. He was like, yo.
I was trying to believe that they were like half. I was like, maybe they're. I mean, not that. I mean, hear me out. I'm not saying, well, they're half brothers. It's fine. I'm just saying, like, okay, well, you know, sometimes if for some people, if there's some biology removed a little, it's like, oh, just a
Not
second
as
cousin. Yeah,
like
it's like,
Abraham and Sarah.
yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, they're just half brother and sister. So it's cool that they had a baby.
Don't bring them up.
I'm sorry.
They're not ready to hear about it.
Okay.
It's supposed to be fun.
Okay. But I will point out, since we're a literacy podcast, that Saxton only became about some shit after he started reading.
Based on the girl he was trying to hit on and impress, and she was like, yeah,
Here's
some books.
Yeah, here's some books. Why don't you read one of those?
That
and
was
then
nice.
that seemed to
Help.
He seemed to be less shitty after that.
Yeah.
So
And I
just
think maybe he
saying.
was observing, like, wow,
I guess I am soulless.
this is, yeah.
Because he was telling his dad, I don't have any hobbies. I don't have any kind
Like,
of...
you are my identity. If I'm not your clone, I don't know what's happening right now. I have no sense of myself.
like
which is
Draco.
so it it was fitting because that was bring it full circle. The Harry
Well, it's almost as
Potter.
if human beings all have a similar psychology. So a lot of times you see a lot of patterns unfold given. That's
Wow.
why it's important to be compassionate, because I
Oof,
really do
that part.
try to remember that if I have this person's experiences, I would be them.
I think that all the time, actually. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm a couple of things away from being you right now. So, ooh. So different. Okay, let's take a break. And then we'll come back, you guys. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, so welcome back from the break. White Lotus.
Wow.
What a show.
Congratulations, Mike White.
Yeah, you did that. I'm so glad that HBO felt desperate. You know, what I will say is that I do think that...
She did air quotes.
I did. I feel like these studios, which I get it's a hard job, but I do think like sometimes right now... Well, because it's like, I'm saying in terms of like, if the whole goal is turn around and making money and stuff like that.
There's pressure. It's
rolling the dice on what is going to be popular, what's not going to be popular. And then I think this is why we see a lot of remakes. I think this is why we see a lot of the same shit rebranded, reworked.
That was a good show on Apple Plus, The Studio. Yeah, because that's kind of what it was about and stuff like that. That was pretty good, but yeah.
We need to talk about that.
I think, what would you rate White Lotus since we both finished it?
We did all finish it. I don't know. I loved it. It had everything I needed. So if I had to rate this, I gotta give it 5 out of 5. I guess those nuts, those suicidal nuts.
They were seeds. D's nuts.
Five of D's nuts.
I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 benzos.
Damn, all drugs, all lethal.
All up, yeah. I would recommend it. The only people who wouldn't like it are people who don't like paying attention. If you don't like paying attention and you don't really have the attention span for long form content, then this isn't for you.
Yeah, because it is that. And again, it's not like super fast. You're not, like you really do have to get into it. But that's what I like because it's like you got into it was beautifully shot. Like they were actually in Thailand.
Yeah. Oh, it was a feast for the eyes. And it'll make you want, if you start with 3, it'll really make you want to go back and watch the first 2.
Oh my gosh, so good.
So I'm really glad that I did that because I was like, let me rewatch this. And then I went back and started watching the first one again. I was like, yeah, this one was fun.
They were so good. They're all so good. I recommend them highly.
Yeah.
Very, very good storytelling. Like I said, multi-layered, good acting, good casting, beautiful setting. Just chef's kiss. I super enjoyed it. So yeah, loved it a lot. I feel like there's still a lot to say, but you know what? We're out of time. So we out of time. And so we're gonna spin the wheel, friend. All right. So spin it.
Woo! Okay, we need a break. So we're just gonna go ahead and call it. It's a fake ass episode.
Damn, Gina.
Talking about what's going on and doing some Am I the Asshole questions.
Yay, that'll be fun.
It'll just be a fun hangout. We'll just make it fun book club.
That's why I love it here.
Come back and remember your body belongs to you. Also have a safe and happy Juneteenth.
Definitely.
And if you don't know what the holiday's about, look it up.
Look that up yourself.
That is so true. That's what Google's for. All right, guys. So until next week, take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezanae M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another fake-ass book club. Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again, and until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.